We have invited Arun Chaudhary, who was a campaigner with both Obama and Bernie Sanders. We'll be talking with him about campaigning the American way.
Look, happy election eve, everyone. I'm extraordinarily pleased to be back here with the good folks at John Adams. And people like me would normally want to have you believe that there's something special and secret we're doing in America. But here's the real secret. Campaigning the American way just means spending an unholy amount of money on it all the time.
You, having worked on both sides of the aisle, what are the big parallels you actually see?
I mean, some of this is, again, the sort of Xerox art of politics, right? It's like, oh, AOC had this great video. Let's all make videos that look exactly like AOC's video. There's also smaller lessons and real things that I do think are the same. And then other things that I think go both ways.
Can you give us examples of what you think are the same?
For instance, I think that in some ways, like, Baudet is a better Trump than Trump.
You also mentioned in your presentation the political teams, and you sort of mentioned something about how important that is, obviously in the United States, but you made a reference to our Dutch elections and that it's important as well.
You have a lot of parties, but when you really do the data, you still have the two teams. You know, big changes happen when you lose people from one team and go to the other team. When you walk around the Netherlands and you talk about to old people about what they loved about being part of the PVD, and let's be clear, some of these people haven't just left the party, they have joined the right wing.
And we cannot have this evening without also talking about our Prime Minister and his very Dutch bike. What does this tell you about maybe his popularity also? What's the story of Mark Rutte here?
Look, he's not Joe Biden, right? Like, he's not Mr. Cool in the aviators, you know, in his muscle car. He just has a really Dutch thing going on here. And sorry to again speak like an outsider, you know, but just like, he just pours it on top of itself in a way that feels very authentic to him.
Why is it that we haven't fallen into the same trap here of negativity and personal attacks?
One is that you need a longer election season to go negative because you have to recover from going negative. But it takes time because it hurts you as much as it hurts the person you're attacking, if you know what I mean.
I was surprised, though, on the negative campaigning part, that there are hardly any real attacks on Mark Rutte from political parties these days.
Yes.
Why?
It's a tough one. I think it is because he's so liked, and so the person, you have all of these parties, none of whom are the most established on the left. I think everyone is afraid if they're the one who takes the knife out to stab him, that again, they will get the most negative from that. But here's what I want to close with, which is something that's more advanced in Europe than it is in America, and I'm about to make a lot of Americans mad, but kind of political meme culture, which can get very negative, is more organized, more interesting, and bigger with the actual voting population in Europe than it is in America.
And thank you for joining us this evening. And a huge thank you to our guest of honor, Arun Chaudhary. And to our moderator, Laila. Thank you, Laila.
My pleasure.